why I don't drink alcohol. And that was a really big one for me because I started drinking when I was 13 and I thought it was funny, and I was surrounded by all these huge companies and kids, and, like I just started being in situations around the world at a 13-year-old pro snowboarder kid getting sent to these places that I would start heavily drinking and thought it was funny. And I didn't really realize that it was like, I never really had a problem, but I didn't know that it was wrong. So when I was drinking, it was hilarious, and there's other kids, doing the same thing, and it's funny. But then when you get older, and so you start to realize the ramifications of it. I stopped drinking when I was 21. And I didn't really have a problem. I never enjoyed partying. I never enjoyed drinking, but I thought it was just like the social thing to do. And then I started to realize that it was completely degrading my quality of life. Like, I didn't want to wake up when I would drink. Didn't want to wake up and snowboard. I didn't want to work out. I didn't want to do anything. You just feel horrible. And then you start to adopt that mindset, and then you start to adopt that mindset in other aspects of your life. And then you start to realize that you're completely screwing yourself over. So, I'll never forget. So it was January 18th, 2015 was my last sip of alcohol, still to this day, 8 years later. And the reason was I woke up with in Austria on the ground with a female that I didn't know, and I was hammered. I don't remember how I got back to where I was. And it was January 18th, 2015. I was at the World Cup, and I didn't even qualify because I drank the whole way there thinking it was funny. I wanted to pass the time. And it wasn't like, I swear to you, I'm an obsessive person, and I think I semi have an addictive personality, but when it came to that, I didn't realize what it was actually just doing to my life. So I woke up that day. I said, I had enough. This just is enough for me. I feel like shit. Screw this. So I said, I'm going to go 5 years and see who I become. So from that day forward, I realized so many different aspects. I wanted to see what it did to cut it out of my life and who I would become because of it. So the first thing, and I've cut out so many other things I never even knew were not benefiting me since then. But the first thing I really remember was the alcohol. And I've become someone that I never imagined I could be. And it just goes to show you that I think if you hold yourself to a certain standard, it doesn't just need to be alcohol. It can be any avenue of something that you might be addicted to. Coffee, you might be addicted to candy, you might be addicted to hot chocolate, I don't know, whatever it is. But if it's just sugar, if you're not aware of it, then you have no real power to change it. But I want you to do something. If you're dealing with addiction or you're dealing with something that's not serving you, I want you to imagine and try to put yourself into this higher place. Let's say you're looking at yourself from space. Let's look at your life from space, just from a very, very broad, open perspective. And you watch your habits. You watch who this person is becoming. And it's not you. I want you to unidentify yourself from you. I want you to look at your life and think, okay, who is that person? What are their habits? Who will they become? Because we simply become what we think about. It's obvious. So if you're thinking about partying and you're thinking about certain things that aren't going to serve you long term, you got to look at that person from that perspective and say, this person needs to change, or I know exactly where their life is headed. So it's a very important thing that I really feel strongly about, and I'm going to leave that there.